Manchester United 2, Leeds United 2. Disappointing to not get the 3 points. Do you lean more on well done for coming back and getting something out of the game, or more disappointed that we started poorly in both halves and couldn't? That made us essentially not be able to win the game.
It feels like both. A point gained, 2-0 down, 2 points dropped because it's Leeds, but Wednesday night rescheduled, cold February. We were due an imperfect home performance at some point, and 13 in a row wasn't going to last forever. So, yeah, to start both halves pretty poorly was disappointing, but second half, substitutions changed everything. First half, we had a few chances. Garnacho rounds the keeper. It helps him when he does those body feints and he throws defenders off balance, but it throws himself off balance sometimes too. So sometimes he can't really finish off his attacking moves because he just loses balance. That was one option there. He loses balance, can't put a proper finish, and they clear it off the line, but those things happen.
Does that prove with Garnacho? Obviously, we're all willing him on. He's our young protege. He's been absolutely fantastic. And when he doesn't play, we're like, where is he? Just put him on. Are you seeing that? He's raw, he's young, and this is why he needs time and patience from us. That's
what raw talent is. It sometimes comes in flashes. It's not perfect physically. He's nowhere near what he's gonna be. So that stuff happens. He's not an every week starter, and he shouldn't be. He's 18, and that's why you see sometimes when he comes with impact off the bench, that's what seems so energetic, because it comes in those flashes. And if he only has 20, 25 minutes, so part of the reason he's starting is because of lack of options, Antony and guys like that. But
did we miss Antony today?
In parts, yeah. I think what he does that people don't notice, and he gets a lot of flack, obviously, but off-ball, defensive shape, what he does pressing as well. We did miss him. He would have started, I think, if he was.
Because in a weird way, it was like there was nobody who could play on the right. So Rashford played on the right in the first half, non-existent. Yeah. Then we swapped it second half, and Garnacho goes out there, ends up getting hooked. Then Pellistri comes on. He does okay, but actually, Antony, although, like you said, he takes a lot of flack, he does lock down the right-hand side. It gives us some things that we don't really necessarily realise.
For now, when Jadon's fit, he's our starting right winger. He was ill earlier in the week. That's the only reason I think he doesn't start today. So as long as he's okay for Sunday, he should be starting. When they're both fully fit, Jadon's our best right winger, but Antony being left-footed, defensively in terms of keeping shape better than Sancho at that. Rotating both is a really good problem to have as long as they're both fit and on it, but if Sancho can, grow into some form consistency, he should be starting most games.
How good was it for him to come off the bench and, put in that type of performance and get himself a goal as well?
Special, yeah. The Meslier should really save that goal. But listen, if you don't shoot, you're not, and it takes a little deflection, but it's amazing for him. He's done exactly the right things. He took some time and has really come back, and the quality was always there in terms of decision making on the ball. He's never going to run past people at 60 miles an hour. That's never been his game.
Exactly.
But what he makes up for in lack of explosiveness is in the intelligence and clean. Him and Shaw as well. The reason Shaw connects well with players like Rashford and Sancho is because everything's clean. The way to pass is clean. The runs, the angles are clean. So again, that was him on the left side, which I think is his weaker wing, even though they can be close. But yeah, it's amazing. He's the last one out, clapping the fans at the end as well. So he has everything inside himself to be one of the best players, one of the faces of the Premier League. He's just got to, and it's nice that the fans are sticking with him. He's just got to make it through this season without injuries or illness, because if he can just show some consistency, the stats will come and all that will come, and he's a really important player for us. If we get our front three healthy, at least for maybe 2 or 3 games, that's all I ask.
That seems like a push, yeah.
They are game breakers, all 3 of them, and we have not seen it, I don't think, once this season. All 3 of them, Rashi, Martial, Sancho together. If we do, they completely transform our attack.
Well, that's what I was going to ask next. In terms of going forward for the next couple of games, obviously Wout Weghorst was brought in to fill a gap because, again, we just can't rely on Antony Martial, and you touched on it there. But going forward, I mean, he's been sacrificed in the last couple of games quite early, where Ten Hag's gone, not really working, and Rashford's gone up front, etc. And look what happened when Rashford went up front today. Considering the limited options, okay, we don't know if Antony's back in contention for Leeds, we'll see. But would you maybe go with Rashford up front now that, there could be a question mark over Antony? Now we've got problems in midfield, Weghorst maybe not being involved, or would you still stick with that focal point up front for now?
I would switch it. I don't think Eric will. And who am I to question that? But he was never brought in to be starting 3 games a week. Even though he jumped at the chance to come here, if you would have told him actually our number 1 striker is never going to be fit for more than a half,
so you're going to play a lot.
And good for him.
Yeah.
Fitness is fine. The energy is good. We didn't actually. It's a bit 50-50. We're not playing to his strengths as much. His hold-up play is actually pretty good, but Leeds defended well. Their midfield, McKennie, Adams today, they clogged up the middle. So, and Fred and Sabitzer are not ball carriers in terms of taking the ball off the back 4. So combine those things together. Wasn't a recipe for success. I would take him out for Sunday. I think he'll start. I would bring him on second half. But listen, when you've got the inconsistent fitness of forwards, I'm just happy he's on the bench or able to play. So I think he'll score a few fair goals for us. Europa League, I would expect him to play in those 2 games as well. But he could use some rest as well. He's been going, at least 60, 65 minutes every game since he's joined almost. So. He's not perfect. He's a lone player. He's a good 3rd striker for next year if we bring someone else in. But I would switch it up for Sunday for sure.
Listen, man, thanks for talking to us. Really appreciate that, man.